guard line with the usual three. Nani Falatea, Ariel Mackey-Williams. Mackey-Williams in her own right has been fantastic for BYU thus far. Kaylee Smiler, the defensive specialist, was huge in the win over USF. The aforementioned Lauren Gustin, and how about the sharpshooting Emma Calvert? Gonzaga knows about Calvert, who went for 17 in that loss 9 days ago in Provo. We'll see what BYU can do from the three-point line against a very, very solid and efficient team, both offensively and defensively, in Lisa Fortier's Bulldogs, who will start. Kaylin Trong, Brynna Maxwell, one of the elite three-point shooters in the country. Williams, Hollingsworth, and Yvonne Ejim is somebody to keep an eye on, especially as it pertains to how to defend Lauren Gustin. Kristen, Yvonne Ejim was the star in that matchup 9 days ago in Provo, when you look at Gustin and what Yvonne did.
Especially late in the game. She took over the game in that fourth quarter. She finished overall with 19 points, 10 rebounds, her 8th career double-double. Well, she will get the matchup defensively on Lauren Gustin. BYU is going to go with Emma Calvert on Ejim.
Our keys to the game as we get set for tip-off for BYU. How do they do something they haven't done all season? And that's take care of Gonzaga.
Yeah, big key is going to be hit shots. So BYU went 4 for 22 from distance last meeting. That allowed Gonzaga defensively to plug it up on Gustin inside. The guards have to hit shots. Ball control. Turnover's been an emphasis all season long for this BYU team. They have to take care of the ball.
And for the Zags, who have first possession of the game.
Well, the Zags are 23-1 when they out-rebound their opponent. Lisa Fortier said rebounding is going to play a key factor in this one. Keep them off the boards, limit them to one and done, and then push pace. She wants to see her team get some easier looks. They struggled a little bit offensively in the last meeting in Provo. Not a lot of offensive flow, and she said, we want to get a few easier looks in transition. So she's asking her guards to get that ball out quickly.
Yvonne Ejim had a pretty good look, but couldn't connect on the layup. So BYU with their first offensive possession. The Cougars in all royal blue, Gonzaga in their white uniforms. Ari Mackey-Williams to Lauren Gustin. Spin move at the hoop around Hollingsworth and a beauty, and the Cougars score first.
How about that patience right there? And you could see she's hesitant a little bit on that 15 to 17-foot range. She can hit that, but she's very comfortable putting that ball on the floor and getting to the rim. Gustin coming out aggressive.
Williams hands back to Hollingsworth. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Ejim will go back to Michaela Williams. Driving around the screen of Ejim. Terminates at the free throw line. Ejim, good physical move, but again, can't score the layup. Offensive rebound by the Zags. They go back to Trong. Beautiful dish inside. Ejim's not going to miss that one. We're tied at 2.
So it's offensive rebounds, which are going to play a huge key. Gonzaga averages 12 offensive boards per game, and you see what happens. BYU scrambling defensively when they're trying to close out to people on the offensive kickout.
Falatea waits for the screen from Gustin. Baseline right. Back to Gustin. She'll try a long two on line, just short. And a rebound for Brynna Maxwell.
Game plan offensively for BYU is to pull Gustin out, put her in that pick and roll situation. You can see Lynn Trong just attack the basket.
Falatea will step back into a 3, and that's going to be well short.
Now watch Gustin. They're pulling her out to start this game and put her in that pick and roll situation. It's going to just free her up a little bit to work off the pick and roll. And then Trong on the kick out off the offensive board. Very nice pass to Ejim. Unselfish player making the right play.
Michaela Williams for 3. Smiler spinning. Got to the hoop. Missed the layup, however. And the rebound collected by the Zags. Here's Maxwell. Pushing pace. Williams in the right corner. Maxwell gives to Ejim. Cycle to Kaylin Trong. Williams will collect again. Maxwell. Look at the ball movement from the Zags. Good pass inside. Ejim tried the left-handed layup. Got her own miss. That leaves Trong open for 3 in the left corner, and it's a 10-0 run for the Zags.
Well, so far the length of Emma Calvert on Ejim has been disrupted.
Try and calm down here offensively.
They got to take care of the basketball. 3 turnovers. Just be more efficient on the offensive side.
Calvert. How about that take from Emma Calvert? Saw a lane, aggressive move to the hoop.
Oh, she is playing so well. Over the last 4 games, averaging over 12 points per game. She's shooting 64% from 3 in those 4 outings.
Quick hands by Kaylee Smiler. Smack it away from Michaela Williams, and a turnover by the Zags. BYU with Rose Bubakar now. Smiler will try a three, and that drops in. Kaylee Smiler, a defensive play on one end and a three-point make on the other. It makes it 10-7. And the connection there on the Trong sisters. Misfiring from three after another BYU turnover. Nani Falatea, hesitation move.
A lot of pressure on her shoulders stepping in with everyone that BYU lost a season ago. The WCC regular season title is what BYU won a season ago, but Nani Falatea has done a really good job stepping in. Rose Bubakar didn't have any advantage inside when she was going amongst the trees.
Lee Trong working with Hollingsworth. Jumper, too strong. And a foul is going to be called.
She's just in the way.
Inbounded to Ejim. Going right at Calvert. Strong move, Yvonne Ejim. Creates an open three look for Ari Mackey-Williams. That one's in and out. And Maxwell holds off Gustin for the rebound.
They've been outstanding on holding Gustin off, keeping her in check. Multiple players making sure they're aware when the shot goes up where Gustin's at. Gustin right now with just 2 rebounds in the game.
This off a 27 rebound performance in BYU's win against San Francisco. Hollingsworth, no good. Ejim rips it away from Mackey-Williams. Beautiful pass from Lee Trong. And Callie Stokes scores the layup. Gonzaga by 5.
BYU is a team just shooting 27%. Really haven't gotten into a good offensive flow, getting good looks. That's a good look. And that's what we need more of. If you're BYU, you got to have more of that ball movement and skip that pass quickly.
Emma Calvert, 88% free throw shooter on the season. Doesn't get to the line a ton, but when she does, she typically makes them and drops in the first.
And Calvert has really elevated her game as of late, the last couple weeks. I talked to Morgan Bailey, the assistant for BYU, and she said the change really came after that San Francisco game.
Shot clock and game clock almost identical. Game clock maybe a second and a half more. Michaela Williams, too heavy on the layup. 5 and 4 for Nani Falatea. Crossover dribble, or 2 and 1. Falatea at the buzzer, off glass, and that's short. Gonzaga will take a 3-point lead into the break.
They absolutely have set the standard for everyone else in the conference to try to achieve and to work towards, and how they recruit and how they compete and their strategies.
Smiler for 3. Back iron, rebounded by Michaela Williams. And that's last touch by Gonzaga. Williams.
We've seen it throughout the tournament where she puts pressure, a little token pressure up there just to force that turnover.
Falatea, reverse layup, left that short. Hollingsworth has been the rim protector for the Zags early in this game.
And she's doing a really good job. That's her second board of the game, but she is keeping those arms straight up and making them take a tough shot over her size at 6'3".
Ejim inside, has her shot blocked by Calvert.
And there's that 6'4" frame that Coach Whiting was hoping would be disruptive to Ejim and take some pressure off of Gustin.
Good pass inside from Calvert to Gustin. The Zags offense a little frantic over the past few minutes. Maxwell will try and calm it down for 3 and misfires. Rebounded by Falatea.
Smiler is so good defensively, fighting through those screens, forcing a tough shot.
Calvert turning a little baby hook, and she scores. BYU pushing pace, and the Cougars lead by 1. Hollingsworth really being pressured by Calvert, and that's going to be the second foul on Emma Calvert.
Bigs are really looking to push that ball out quickly in the seal. Boy, we didn't see hardly any of this last meeting in Provo.
Nicely drawn up play. Michaela Williams with an easy 12-footer. Bubakar will go to Falatea. Falatea off the screen. Inside, beats Hybens, but can't finish the layup. That's a tough angle to score with the right hand.
And she's had a couple looks like that, right, where her body's not quite at an angle to finish well, finish high on the backboard.
Ejim pulling at the left elbow. And another block shot by BYU, that one by Kaylee Smiler, and a tie-up happens. Possession arrow points to Gonzaga.
What she's able to do to keep her body off and locate the ball.
They inbound to Ejim. Lin Trong, tough shot, she's fouled. Credit to Lin Trong for selling that. Now, she's listed as a senior, Kristen, but everybody on this Gonzaga team's coming back next year, which is an unbelievably frightening thought for the rest of the West Coast Conference moving forward.
If you're BYU, maybe a little grateful, right? The Big 12. I mean, that's a beast of its own. But this Gonzaga team is fully loaded, as you mentioned. Just one conference loss. That one coming to Santa Clara this year in the regular season.
Good find for Barcelo. The three drops in, and there's a foul away from the basket. As Rose Bubakar hit the floor, so that three's going to count. And then BYU will have a free throw here as well. Correction, it'll be BYU basketball because of the non-bonus situation. So the Cougars with an opportunity at maybe a 5 or 6 point play here. Falatea.
For the angle.
The layup short.
Not quite there, and her momentum is just taking her to the side.
Good pace by Kaylin Trong. Bubakar.
That's an easy pickoff. I mean, easy anticipation to take that away.
And one for Yvonne Ejim. So tough sequence there for Rose Bubakar of BYU, and the Zags so good at making teams pay on the transition after a turnover.
And here's a look at offensively that other possession by Trong, and then Ejim. She's like, I got this steal. I'm taking this coast to coast. And she finishes with the foul on Rose Bubakar.
Ejim pays it off. BYU's offense has gone cold over the last 4 minutes plus. You can attribute that to turnovers as well. Mackie Williams for three. Got it. Ari Mackie Williams. Lynn Trong working on Williams. Gustin there to help out off the screen. Hybens, long two, banks it in. Well, the bank is open early on a Monday in Las Vegas. 4-point Gonzaga lead.
Doesn't matter how it goes in, right? As long as it goes in.
Mackie Williams. That's Gustin. Entry pass for Bubakar. Rose Bubakar, an aggressive move. And she scores against Esther Little. Bubakar hasn't had the greatest tournament. She's really struggled from the field. That's a big bucket right there.
Some confidence boost for Rose Bubakar because she can have an advantage, particularly off the dribble against the freshman Callie Stokes.
That's easy pickings for Michaela Williams. We've seen her left open a couple of times from 12 to 15 feet. She'll knock that down just about every shot she gets. Amanda Barcelo floater from the short corner left.
And Barcelo taking her opportunities when she gets them. We saw her knock down a big three-point shot. And then that one right there, just very good job reading the defense for a nice little floater on the short corner.
Williams to Kaylin Trong. Trong will settle for a jumper. That is so good. That is so smooth.
Where she's just incredible. The calmness and just the presence out there. She impacts the game, and it's not just scoring.
14 fouls on the Zags. One more put BYU in the two-shot bonus for the remainder of the half. Ari Mackie Williams step through. Left-handed layup left just a little bit short, and the rebound to Ejim, who now has 7 boards and 7 points. Lee Trong goes to Ejim. Inside, Hybens. Shot blocked by the recovering Barcelo. Hybens was wide open for a moment, and Gonzaga just missed the opportunity.
Miscommunication on that come together right here as you watch the BYU player. Just miscommunication, but credit to the freshman Barcelo getting over there in time, locating the ball, big time block. As a team, BYU has 4 blocks already.
Ejim, strong move.
Gonzaga a little more balanced, right? As you mentioned, balanced offensively to spread out the load. Oh my goodness, what a block from Yvonne.
That sends
right
a
on
message.
cue.
Not to mention 2 steals for Ejim already in the first half.
Not in my house is exactly what she's saying right there.
31-25, 6-point Gonzaga lead. Falatea scoops, still can't find the mark from the field.
0 for 7 for Falatea. Look at Mackie Williams, though. It's that pressure coming up.
And Ejim comes back and picks up her 3rd steal of the game. Well, the shot clock is off. Gonzaga, at the behest of Lisa Fortier, will hold for the final shot. And a foul called on Falatea. That's the 4th team foul on BYU.
It's been an emphasis all season long, our ball control.
Lee Trong with 10 seconds now to play before the halftime break. Wants Ejim inside. Ejim going right at Lauren Gustin. Leaves that short. Battle for the rebound. BYU basketball with .5 to play.
Gustin made Ejim take a tough shot.
Inbounded, and we are through one half of our first game on semifinal Monday. Here we go. Nani Falatea will control for BYU. Falatea 0 for 7 shooting. Kristen, hard not to believe that if BYU has any chance of winning this game, Falatea's got to get going.
Number one key right now is those guards got to make shots. It's particularly around the rim.
Well, the Gonzaga guards, notably Kaylin Trong, has been outstanding. 11 points, 4 assists, no turnovers for the West Coast Conference Player of the Year. Here's Falatea, goes to Calvert, who had to sit the final 8 minutes of the first half with 2 fouls. Mackie Williams. And she doesn't get the ball released out of her hand before the shot clock expires.
Now, Gonzaga didn't convert that as much as I think Lisa Fortier would have liked, with just 6 points off of turnovers. But when you force a team like BYU to cough it up that much, now BYU's having to defend more on the other side.
Maxwell with her foot on the line. Now they will go back and review that, but it was initially called a 2. So the Zags up 33-25. Maxwell, until she played BYU 9 days ago, had hit a 3 in every game this season. The Cougars prevented her from doing that, and she has not hit one today. And Falatea,
as you mentioned, she went 29 straight games until Smiler held her 0 for 4 from 3-point in that matchup in Provo on the 25th of February.
Ejim, great position, and that's a gorgeous play call and draw up by Lisa Fortier and her staff. Mackie Williams, wide open 3. That 2 won't go. Gustin battling for the rebound.
Well, those are the shots, as we saw from Mackie Williams, that need to start dropping for BYU. They're just 9 for 30 in the game at 30% overall.
Maxwell. Oh.
She's working so hard. I mean, coming off screens, away from the ball. You saw that curl right off the screen, and Smiler's right on her hip.
That is so good. And there's another turnover by BYU. Beautiful pass. And the Gonzaga faithful going nuts in Provo. All smiles for Trong and Ejim. It is absolutely danger zone for BYU. Gonzaga on an 8-0 run to open up the second half.
It's not necessarily something that was the extended pressure and all this pressure that's causing it. It's BYU beating themselves right now. Don't discredit what Gonzaga's doing with their defense, but there's a good look by Smiler, attacking that pressure, getting to the rim, finishing a shot around the rim.
She's been one of the bright spots for BYU, both her defensive energy and now with 5 points. And frankly, those 5 points, Kristen, are more than Lauren Gustin has scored, 4, and Nani Falatea has scored with 2. Inbounded to Smiler. She'll bounce to Gustin. Swung back to Smiler. Guarded by Callie Stokes. And now here is Mackie Williams over Hollingsworth. In and out. Offensive rebound. Rose Bubakar loses that ball on the way up, but a foul call, and Rose Bubakar is going to go to the free throw line. Foul goes against Maud Huijbens. Huijbens, 6'3", out of the Netherlands. Bubakar makes the first free throw. She'll have one more. And that one is perfect as well. The Gonzaga shooting 48% to BYU's 34%. The one thing you ought to be super nitpicky that the Zags have not done well, Kristen, is shoot the 3. Just 3 for 12 as Lee Trong makes the bucket, but a foul occurs before the layup goes up. Williams wants Ejim inside. Here comes the double. Ejim back out to Williams. She'll settle for a 3-pointer. That touches every part of the rim and falls out, but another offensive rebound for Yvonne Ejim, her 7th.
To finish the regular season, and now obviously today to help carry this team.
Ejim now 4 for 5. Ari Mackie Williams. Reverse layup. And Mackie Williams is hurt as she goes down to the floor immediately.
Oh. The ball was supposed to go to Gonzaga, and they gave it to BYU. And Falate just took it and went, all right, I'm going to make a layup right here on my basket. My goodness. Oh, man. Just a mistake in handing the ball to BYU, but don't you love they just stepped right up and said, we'll take it.
Lee Trong. Back to her twin sister, Lynn. Lynn around the screen from Hollingsworth. We'll go back to Hollingsworth for three, and that one drops in. Again, not great for the Zags today, just 29%, but that one goes down, and they lead by 18 points, and that is ruled off of Emma Calvert.
It's the 4-3 of the game for Gonzaga, but as you mentioned, not shooting quite at their mark as they lead the nation, coming in at 41.9%. It's one that you can let go, but Ejim has done a really good job on that weak side block. A little kick pass right there inside to Ejim.
And the game-high lead extends to 20 for the Zags.
It is not been Smiler's day. 13 total fouls on the game overall, right? And so, especially Smiler, she typically does a really good job not getting in foul trouble.
Hollingsworth. And a foul! The floodgates have opened.
So BYU just completely outmatched, it appears, by Gonzaga, and that's just head to toe right now. They're getting outplayed, they're getting beat off the dribble, they're getting out-rebounded, and they're turning the ball over. But so much credit needs to go to Lisa Fortier, her coaching staff, at putting her team in the right spot.
25-point quarter for Gonzaga. They led by 6 at the half. It's now 23-point advantage. Falatea. Her shot partially blocked, and Michaela Williams.
And get to the rim, trying to finish on the opposite side with the reversal.
And she makes that.
Yeah, points in the paint. Gonzaga 28-12 advantage.
Ejim, with 8 seconds to play in the quarter, goes to Lee Trong, guarded by Barcelo. There's 4 and 3, crossover dribble, Trong, long 2, and that goes down as well. 27 points in the third quarter for the Zags.
That's the old Kaylee Trong we're used to seeing.
BYU basketball to open up the fourth quarter. Three-pointer is off the front of the rim and missed by Mackie Williams. How about this stat? Yvonne Ejim outscored BYU by herself in the third quarter, 12-10.
She's been outstanding in this one with 21 overall. 11 rebounds. We mentioned that's her 9th career double-double.
We look at the West Coast Conference tournament history. Gonzaga 10 titles. BYU in the 12 seasons where they played the WCC won 3 to their credit. All 3 under head coach Jeff Judkins. Smiler is fouled by Yvonne Ejim. There was a collision up by the Gonzaga bench and Lisa Fortier as well, and the whistle stayed quiet.
No call either way. They let this one play out. Watch this. A lot of contact there with Mackie Williams into Trong. This should have been a foul on Mackie Williams right here. I know she's being aggressive trying to go get that ball, but that's a lot of contact that needs to be called.
Falatea. And runs into 2 Zags, and a frustrating foul call right there. Falatea back to the free throw line.
Well, this is one way that BYU can chip into this massive lead is stop the clock, get to the free throw line, right? Take it one possession at a time. Your shell D defense, where you got to defend for those 30 seconds.
And that's knocked out of bounds by Lee Trong. Mackie Williams pressuring there. Well, it's a very thin silver lining at this point for BYU, but they are 10 for 10 from the free throw line, and they just picked up a stop right there on the defensive
There you go. I mean, just be aggressive, right? You're going almost for a steal every single time to try to get a stop.
And the Calvert to Lauren Gustin, and a foul. That's 4 fouls now on Yvonne Ejim. So Maud Hybens and Hollingsworth are the post players now for the Zags. And Gustin makes the free throw, 7 points. A little 5-0 spurt for BYU. The lead at 18 with 8:45 to play in the game. Gonzaga still in control.
BYU into a zone now, mixing it up defensively just in this quarter, and it has paid off early for Coach Whiting's club.
Falatea As it's stripped away by Lin Trong. Probably needs to give it up in that point and then hope to get it back. And look at Maxwell run the floor the other way. And the 6th seed Pacific Tigers at approximately 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, or 30 minutes after this game finishes.
BYU as a team has been held to just 16 rebounds. Now that is the average for Gustin. Gustin averages more than that, actually, 16.9. Boy, rebounds, huge factor in favor of Gonzaga. They also have 19 second chance points.
A blocking foul of Lin Trong, 11 points. Give her 12 on that first free throw make. She's got 7 assists and just the 1 turnover.
That's an incredible stat. 7-1.
Couple that with how much they've been dominated on the offensive glass, and this is how we get to this result.
Yeah, that's something that Gonzaga's really good at, right? Crashing the offensive glass, converting it, and then taking your turnovers and converting it. Now that's a big shot from Kaylee Smiler this year and last year, one of the top 3-point shooters for BYU.
The 3 in response is no good, and Hybens is going to be called for a foul. That's the 5th team foul on Gonzaga in the 4th quarter. Has taken 35 free throws this season, Kristen, and made 31. Make it 32 for 36. One more for Calvert as BYU looks to remain perfect from the charity stripe.
As of late, the last couple weeks, coming off 17 points, obviously, on Saturday, but also tied that career high against Gonzaga in Provo, February 25th.
Maxwell, you want to beat a zone? Give it to Brynna Maxwell after some ball movement, and that's exactly what the Zags do. 3-pointer is good, and Smiler has now fouled out on what has been ruled as an illegal pick. And there's a deflected pass by Gustin. Falatea. Kristen, it's just been an absolutely nightmarish day for Nani Falatea. I'm recalling 3 separate occasions she's had a transition opportunity off of a turnover. Falatea still looking for her first field goal. She'll give it up to Bubakar for 3, and that banks in for Rose Bubakar. She's got 7 points. We mentioned that the bank's open, and it's open for both teams.
Well, the bench has been terrific for BYU. I mean, they hold an advantage there. Not many advantages in the game for BYU, but a 14-8 advantage with bench points.
Maxwell.
They're just so tough. I mean, Spencer, pick your poison, right? Who you take away? You're trying to take away Ejim. They're going to kick it out and find Maxwell. They move the ball really, really well. They're so balanced. And they do the little things, right? I mean, it's rebounding the ball, forcing turnovers. BYU once again can't finish close to the rim.
Falatea with a steal. And that will be her first field goal of the game. With 3:51 to play. Nani Falatea with the steal and score to bring BYU within 18. And Ari Mackey-Williams.
She's a player that absolutely loves when teams play a zone because she can just move about that perimeter and find herself open. Now, when you're playing man-to-man, Smiler's done a really good job on her this season, but it's more difficult for a player like Maxwell to get herself open.
One more free throw for Lee Trong, and Gustin has secured rebound number 9.
Gustin has 532 rebounds just this season alone, and that goes for Gonzaga or BYU, and that's something that has been a staple for 38 minutes a game, good for 3rd in the nation. That's a lot of minutes, particularly when you're down low and you're banging the whole game. It's very physical.
First free throw missed by BYU in the entire game. And Nani Falatea will have 2 free throws. She makes the first.
Much better quarter for BYU. Now it's probably too little too late.
Maxwell, long 2. Brynna Maxwell is
tough.
In the zone.
That's a tough shot over 6'4", stretched arm of Emma Calvert.
15 points on 6 of 9 shooting. She's made 3 threes. Mackey-Williams has the ball knocked down by Esther Little. And there is turnover number 23 on BYU on the interior pass. Maxwell, was there any doubt?
Not in my mind.
The way that she's shooting the ball right now.
Not in my mind, Spencer.
18 points from Maxwell.
Guard. She's going to be coming back from that ACL tear, but Looking forward to seeing what she can do as well.
Nani Falatea soars in for the layup. And Falatea now with 12 points. And a lot of great memories for BYU in the West Coast Conference. This Gonzaga-BYU rivalry died within the confines of the WCC.
It's been so special, and BYU has absolutely raised the level of play in the WCC, and that goes for Gonzaga, pushing that matchup, right, that rivalry, but then other teams as well. As you mentioned, it comes down to recruiting, it comes down to matchups and trying to get more competitive. Teams like St. Mary's, Santa Clara, go down the list, right, Pepperdine Pacific.
And Lisa Fortier has in many ways emptied her bench. Lee Trong is the only usual player on the floor for Gonzaga, and
it's been about a flow for her and trying not to do too much to come back when you're back about, it's only in 4 or 5 games back after sitting out 3 months.
Lauren Gusson made that free throw, 75-56. Lee Trong misses that three badly. Offensive rebound by Esther Little, but it's poked away by Amanda Barcelo. Steal by BYU. Skip pass from Mackie Williams to Falatea, and the three rattles down. Nani Falatea, 15 points. So an okay fourth quarter, but Falatea just 3 for 16 from the field. And a transition layup inside for Callie Stokes.
Augustin with 9 points, 9 rebounds as well. As you mentioned, Falatea, what she's been able to do.
Emma Calvert for 3. Calvert with 13 points. Way out guarding Kaylee Trong, and that's a foul. Kaylee makes the first.
Kaylee Trong was an all-WCC first-team pick a season ago. She's the top returning scorer from last season. With that 5th game in, an injury to her foot against Tennessee.
And there's a farewell sign for BYU in the West Coast Conference. Falatea, a little long. Gustin battling for the rebound. Barcelo to inbound. Go to Falatea on that curl. Scores off the glass. 79-64. BYU will maintain that pressure. And I can't imagine they will opt to foul here. Gonzaga fans rise to their feet in the Orleans Arena. Well-earned victory for the number 16 team in the country and heavy favorites as the number 1 seed in the WCC tournament as they advance through the bracket.